Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Brandon. Yep, I'm back. So trying to kick the channel off again. It's been complicated the last year uploading videos. We still don't have high-speed internet here, so that tends to slow the process down and kind of made this turn into a huge hassle. But we also just have had so much work to do around the property. It's been tough to be like, hey, let me go grab the camera and film it to kind of document it. But starting year 2, we got a lot of our major issues around the property addressed. Our soil washing out. We've gotten some of the different things. I'll actually kind of document those as we go and add more content and everything. But the main reason I'd started the channel, Facebook page and everything, I was talking to a friend of mine a few years ago, telling him when we were building everything, and he suggested I do this. And so I was wanting to do that for others that were kind of getting into it, thinking of doing your own gardens or wanting to be more self-sufficient, especially right now with grocery prices about to be what they're going to be. I think we're going to see a lot more gardens popping up this year. So we've done a few backyard gardens for years, nothing major. Last year we attempted the larger in-ground garden that if you follow us on Facebook, you saw the struggles we had with it, with all the water erosion, the soil just constantly washed out. It was terrible soil to begin with. We never really was able to get enough mixture to where that turned into good soil to grow our crops and vegetables and everything. So this year the garden has changed a little. Here later I'll show what we had last year if you haven't seen any of that footage, or if you didn't follow us on Facebook or anything, and we'll show you the changes that we've made for this year. It's pretty drastic. Wasn't the cheapest route you could go right now with times the way that they are, but it's going to be far more successful than what we had. The amount of work that we would have had to have put into the garden area to get that soil up to where it needed to be successful would have probably came out around the same price wise. So it was the double-edged sword of, do we throw the money there, do we throw the money here, and which option will get us up and running the soonest or earliest, whichever way you go. So right now I'm just going to show you, so we've just started some of our indoor seeding to start the garden. We've got a few other things planted right now. So again, water is a major issue of ours. We are at the base of the foothills in Appalachia, the Blue Ridge Mountains, whichever you want to say. We're on the Greenville, South Carolina side of it, so we call it the Blue Ridge Mountains. If you go up a little bit north, it's Appalachia. It's all basically the same thing. But we're kind of at the bottom of the mountain. We get a lot of drainage from the top side of our property, and then we have 2 creeks that run through our property. So on the top side, we have a lot of water that runs down through there. We've had massive driveway issues, ruts running out of our driveway. We've had to go in and pave that. All things I'll kind of show you as we go again. But so along the driveway, we're now going to put in some vegetation, some ground growers, crawlers, whatever it is. And so different things that we've got to patch around the property that I know other people go through, they're having to deal with. We are far from experts in any of these situations, but we've brought in people that know the stuff, and we've taken some of their recommendations on different things, and we've kind of done our own thing in certain areas too, because French drains seems to be the automatic thing that everybody goes to for water, and we really don't want to have rocks all over the property. We don't want 14,000 French drains throughout our property. So we've done a couple of different things, but like I was saying, we've got the some seedings for some different things that we're wanting to put along the driveway. So I'll show you those, and then the future garden seeds that are starting. And we are actually going to be putting some more seeds that I went to our local feed and seed store earlier today, picked up some different seeds. So we're gonna get those in the soil in another seeding area that I started earlier this week, and see where we go. So here we are in our dining room. You can probably immediately tell why I filmed that first section in the kitchen, because we have nothing on the walls still a year later, and it's very echoey in here. So this is actually just a regular plastic table that I picked up a few years ago from Walmart or somewhere. It was actually for work, and I'm no longer with that business anymore, but so my wife decided to steal it and use it for the seeding station this year. These lights I got off of Amazon. I try to shop local, but there are some things that you can find there that you can't find anywhere else. We had used these that you can just get from any local feed and seed or Lowe's, Home Depot, or whatever. They work great. That's what we used last year, had success with them, but these here just kind of give you a little bit more flexibility, obviously. So these bend, adjust them any way you want to, and you can do that. So don't really like them. I'd actually got her one of them for Christmas, I believe it was, and after kind of using the two for the first few weeks, she really liked those. So I got her two more a few weeks ago, and that's all we're using right here. So the first things that we started growing this year were, or try to here, is the spearmint, the lemon balm, and then on these two, I don't know how to say what she planted there. If you can read that, that's what she planted on that one. And then over here is those as well. We've kind of, as you can see, have different methods that we're doing. This is a pop-out mold. So whenever we go to transition these to where they're going to live forever, you can actually just push them from the bottom and the whole soil will come out, and you don't have to dig them out or anything. This design, pod, whatever you will, we actually tried last year and had pretty good success with it. The things that we did have actually grow in our garden, everything was planted in there. We learned the hard way that you don't seed carrots first, and you don't put them in anything like this, because this actually broke away, decomposed into the ground perfectly on a number of the things, but for some reason it didn't do for the carrots. So that was a lesson learned on that. And then also we found out you're not supposed to seed carrots and then transplant them. So lovely on that one. You can see here none of the spearmints coming up. Don't know if the seeds were bad. Don't know if these pods are bad. We don't know. But the lemon balm, we have some action in this one, here. It's actually a 50-50 with the lemon balm of what has started germinating versus what didn't. So I think we'll probably not do these again. On top of that pop-out mold, we've really gone to, is it Liffey? Whatever that, Jiffy, something or other. Whatever that company is, they are at all the big box stores right now. But it's this tears apart. So I mean, you can see this one section here came from a double. So they tear apart, and then once you're ready to go plant, you can actually just break this, put the whole pot itself into the ground. And you can see here the weird stuff here. It's all shooting pretty good. This is also, this whole front tray is also one of her plants that she's putting out there. The back tray here, let me get these lights out of the way. See, perks of having flexible lights. You can just slide them out. So this is our first seedings for the garden. And what I did as a cheat, drew out the whole landscape. So we're actually looking at it upside down right now, and this is technically that direction. These pods here were in the back and seemed to be kind of the main area that didn't look like they were germinating. So I wanted to flip that around in case they weren't getting good light back there. But that pod is cauliflower. This pod, all of those are all cauliflower. There, every single pod of cauliflower. Oh, never mind. I was gonna say everyone's germinating but that one. And now we have life in this one. So all of our cauliflower are starting to poke through. What you can see, what you see in these, it's mostly the lettuce coming through right now. We do have, let's look at our sheet here. Looks like we have some kale coming in, some of the Swiss chard there in that second row from the right, iceberg lettuce, celery. I think I can see a little something starting to want to pop through on it, but mostly lettuce, which everyone will tell you is one of the quickest to germinate anyway. Although we have 47 different kinds. Not really, we have I think 4 or 5 different lettuces in there, and then probably equal amounts of different tomatoes, and then our cauliflower that we eat a ton of. So let's head down to the basement where I put together the new seeding station, and then we'll get the rest of the seeds going in. Okay, so this is the new seeding station down in the basement. It's our unfinished room down here that maybe if we ever do get our internet, we will turn into a little movie room or entertainment room to watch ball games and stuff. So I went and got just some aluminum trays here and put those same pods in. I've gone ahead and filled them up, but then we got these lights picked up from Lowe's, I believe, and then another tray there, a couple extra pods sitting in that rack above it, and a pot and soil. So this is what she's decided was the best. It's Jiffy. Okay, yep, that's the company with all these pods and everything. Like I said, they're all at Lowe's. I would assume Home Depot as well. Same thing. Jiffy 3-inch seed starting Jiffy pots. With the pot and all. So we'll see how those work. Biodegradable, organic, easy 3-step seeding. Like I said, it's all this is just to kind of see how it is. So this is what I picked up from our local feeding seed this morning. So we've got lima beans, white lima beans, green lima beans, zucchini, it just fell, just some beets here, pole beans, peas. Picked these up at Tractor Supply. Blue Lake bush beans, some Italian flat leaf parsley, and then some Genovese basil. I'm assuming you pronounce it Genovese, since that was the crime mob boss family. That's how it's spelled, how they pronounced it. So we're gonna go with that so I don't get whacked off or anything. Poor choice of words. Sounds bad. Friends are about to bust me for that one. But y'all know what I mean. Messing with the mob, that's how you'll get hit. Okay, so now about to start the seeding, and I'll just kind of show you how I'm gonna keep up with everything. So first things first, I'm just gonna make a note here. So we've got, it's March 23rd. That's today's day of the filming. Turn that light on so the spotlight on the camera would go off. And then here, just to kind of make it a little bit easier. So I've got the first row. So again, we've got an individual pod section here on the front of both. That's how it would fit perfectly. And then second pod right, I'm going to do the same thing in both rows in that one pod. Same thing in each row on each pod. So all I'm doing right now is, again, first row, that's going to be second pod. I guess I could have called it first pod, yeah, whatever. Second pod, third pod, fourth pod, fifth. Then, so I've got them separated. Second pod right, third pod right, so right and left. And just to kind of make it a little bit easier for now, I'm just going to fill up both sides of each pod and see what works. So the first ones we'll throw in is the, can you see it up? There we go. The green lima beans. These came from our local feed and seed store, and we'll go here in this first pod and get to planting these. We've been watching, you know, I live on YouTube half the time just watching different people's techniques, different things. I've gotten into woodworking, and I'm sorry if I'm loud. I'm now standing over the microphone. But getting into woodworking, do that. I've been forced to be a little more mindful of my diet due to a recent diagnosis. Nothing life-threatening or whatever, but apparently I just can't eat whatever I want to. Oh, you get out of there. And but anyway, where I was going with this is, been watching different techniques of different people, and I've always been one of those. I do a lot of barbecue. Apparently I won't be anymore. But I'm the kind, I don't care really what your reasoning is, as long as it makes sense. And so many things we do, you can have different methods to your madness, and some of them are just dumb. Some make no sense. Like the people that put mustard on a pork butt before adding rub because they say, oh, it helps it stick to it. No, it doesn't. If your pork butt's dry, you need to go back to the store because that's terrible. You should not have a dry pork butt to where when you put rub on it, it just rubs off. Or runs off. Rubs off is a bad term. So that doesn't make sense. I don't understand why anybody puts mustard on it so your rub sticks. So the theory here, where I'm going with it, is Mark over at Self-Sufficient Me Down Under, we were watching one of his seeding videos the other day, and he made a good point with seeding. And you see people that, again, they have success, so who really cares? But you see people that will go in and they stick their finger all the way in. Oh, let's pause. While I'm talking, we'll go ahead. We'll do the whites now in pod right. But anyway, so you see people and they'll come in and do their little fingers here, or one big finger, or whatever it is, and then they get like a good little scoop and put it over. Well, the way Mark had, you know, his theory and reasoning of it was, nature doesn't do that. Nature doesn't come in and poke holes and stick seeds down in them and give them perfect coverings and all. In nature, seeds fall, soil lands on top of it, water hits it, it grows. If nature finds that to be successful, you know, I'm going to go with her. She kind of knows what she's doing. She has done it probably 1 or 2 more seasons than I haven't. Look, hey, I got the perfect number there. So again, his theory, you kind of may make a little room, but other than that, just give a little cover. That one needs to go in. There we go. But like a little soil on top, nothing major. And then let everything else do what it does. So that's those. Before I get too far, one, I need to separate the beans that I just put in so I know what I've done. So they'll go on the floor. And then let's add them to our list. So we did green lima beans, white lima beans. And I know there's not a single person on the face of this planet that wants to see me go up and down all of these and write all of this down, so fast forward. So there we go. Everything is planted, seeded. Now this is what it ended up looking like. So once I'd got to that third pod on the left and realized those were herbs, we didn't need an entire pod for them. So just put all those in one. Added row 1, row 2 over there, so I know what I do once I go back and put it on a full spreadsheet. Yes, I realize I did not put the 2 inside that bracket. Oh well. So now let's add a little bit of water and give them life. And one thing you don't want to do here is you don't want to completely drown these. Oh, no, that was good. So, you want to give them enough water to get them to life, but nothing going crazy. Oh, sorry. Fast forward. Alright, so we're all planted, seeded, whatever the proper term is. As I said, the wifey is the gardener historically, but I'm being forced to learn it. So if I screwed up watering there, let me know. If I did a fantastic watering job, let me know. Now we wait, and we come back and check it every 30 minutes, every hour, every day, to see if anything's growing, because that's what you do, right? Day 0 for the lima beans, pole beans, peas, zucchini, beets, parsley, basil, and the bush beans. Week 1 of everything upstairs. I don't have that paper, so I can't read it off to you. But if you're really that worried about it, you can rewind and watch that section again. So it is now Tuesday the 29th. We are just shy of a week from planting these down in the basement. I've had some issues trying to connect my camera to my computer to transfer the footage, so we'll continue recording on this one and then get some stuff loaded. So let's see how we're doing. We've got some growth going on here with our beets. I actually came down last night and took a little peek, so we got couple of the pods are doing pretty well with the beets right now. Let's take a look. Do we see anything else? Oh. There's some there. I've got one over here. And there's some green. Little in that back pod. So a couple of those. Let's see what that one is. That is pod 4 on the left. So the Blue Lake bush beans we put in. So we got some bush beans starting to pop through. Looks like our herbs aren't doing anything yet. But the beets and all on this left side are doing pretty well. None of the green lima beans here. Let's see, we're not getting anything on this section. Now some of these other seeds here, you can see they're poking up a little. I probably should put a hair more soil on them, but we'll let them roll, see what they do. Oh, I just hit my head on this. Might be a little poking through on that one. We'll keep an eye on some of those. But I think I might spy a little something. Let's see right about there. I think that might be a little something. But other than that, this side seems to be moving a little slower. So back upstairs, we are getting a lot sprouting now from our veggies here. We've got the cauliflower still shooting up. A lot of the lettuce is doing really well, which is to be expected. What else did we have here? Looks like we got our cherry tomatoes coming in. Iceberg lettuce, kale. What's that? That's lettuce there in that second pot. So our bell peppers here in this bottom corner. These two, they're not doing anything. The pot 3, there's more peppers. It's not doing anything. So maybe we need to do another rotation here and get some better light. Looks like we got, that could just be the seed popping through, but that's the eggplant. Nope, the eggplants, those two there. So we got a little bit of something going on. That is the beefsteak tomato, that one by itself. And then the big sprout is the homestead tomato. Then both of those two there are the Abraham Lincoln. So everything else is kind of still getting by. We probably need to pay attention to the water. I think some of them look like they're wilting a little bit. But all these, I guess they are about 2 weeks old now. Doing really well. The garden should be finished this week, and hopefully a lot of these will get to go in their new home by Sunday. That's the goal. By Sunday, should be in. Alright, so it is now Thursday the 31st. Let's do a little checkup. We've got our, that is the kale right here that is just shooting up. And the Swiss chard right beside us doing really well too. Then we got some iceberg lettuce. Celery is starting to come. Roma tomatoes, cherry tomatoes. What's that? Black seed lettuce. Got a little poke through there from our eggplant. And then the Rutgers tomatoes are starting to poke out. Bottom side's not doing as well. That's just the ruby red lettuce, the only thing coming through there, and then some peppers and tomatoes here. Let's see, what's this one? So that is the ruby green tomatoes, those two. And then the homestead tomato, only one of those kicking. And then the beefsteak tomato is that one. The cauliflower, they seem to be going away a little bit. We might need to get some more water and all in there. All these are still going. We're going to try to get these put out this weekend. These have been here for a while. I think too long, as the lemon balm that was in these are starting to actually wilt away. So still nothing in that spearmint. So I think these pods aren't as good either. So after this year, we'll probably not use these anymore. if you notice, there is a tray missing. So let's go check on it. So here is that tray. I actually don't remember what was in there. I think more just plants for the driveway and everything for erosion control. They were starting to struggle a little, so we brought them out on the front porch to see if the real light will help it a little. And then it's also rained this morning, so free watering. That's some of the plants that she's gotten to go around the garden area to cover the blocks and everything, so we took those out as well. Let those get watered this morning. Let's go see how the basement's doing. Alright, so not a whole lot difference from here. I'm not sure if that's coming through. There we go. So the beets are still doing really well. I think every pod, yep, there's that one there. So every pod of the beets is kicking, sprouting. That one's got a ton. And then still nothing from those. But look at there. Starting to see some green poking through. Oh, that one's gone. Oh. So got that. There. You see some green poking through that pod, so got some stuff growing here. That was the Blue Lake bush beans. Nothing here. This tray is still, as far as I can see, we still don't have anything. Oh, let's see if I can get you there. We got a little green poking through. So those are starting to germinate here. Let's see. That's that pod 4 on the right. And so that was the peas. So I got some peas starting to poke through there. So we're getting there. Like I said, hopefully these will, maybe not these. These may sit for another, I don't know, a week or so before we move them to the garden, but should hopefully start getting stuff in the garden this weekend. I believe I have fixed the computer issue with getting the footage to the computer so I can start posting it. If you are hearing these words, then obviously I did get that fixed. If you're not hearing these words, then I did not get that fixed. Interesting. Anyway, we'll get this posted up as quickly as I can, and hopefully the next video will be the new garden tour.